Welcome to our rule highlight video for Columbus Recreation and Parks Adult Softball Program. This video is available to provide information on specific rules and responsibilities for captains and players. Please pay close attention to the material in this video and remember, it is your responsibility to share this information with your teammates. Our various levels of play are based on player classification. Players in our leagues are classified as either a sanctioned player or a non-sanctioned player. So let's define a sanctioned player. This is a player that has played and/or appears on a team roster for any outside sanctioning organization during the current or previous year. Sanctioning bodies include, but are not limited to, USSSA, One Nation, PSL, NSA, ASA, WSL, and SPA. Sanctioned players are only eligible to play in major and competitive CRPD divisions. These players are not permitted to play in recreational and social divisions. Team captains are responsible for understanding all league classifications and eligibility requirements. Check with your players before submitting your roster to ensure they meet all eligibility guidelines. Another way we try to create various levels of play is through our home run limits in each division. Home run limits are based off balls that are hit over the fence only. Please review the home run limits that are listed here for the current year. For a detailed description of our home run rules, view our rule book online. One other note on levels of play. Our social division plays by a game run limit. This limits the total number of runs each team can score by inning and for the game. This division is designed with the social player in mind and not intended to be highly competitive. For CRPD leagues and tournaments, all softball bats are required to have the NSA 2012 stamp. If a bat does not have this specific stamp, it is not permitted to be used. Softballs are provided with your team registration. These softballs are required to be used in all games. In addition to receiving softballs, each team will receive a scorebook along with special offers provided by our sponsors. We call this packet pickup. The dates for packet pickup are listed online and in the confirmation email you will receive after successfully registering your team. If you cannot attend, it is important to send a team representative to pick up this packet during the advertised times. Once league schedules are posted, you will receive an email with instructions on how to submit your team's roster. Be sure to check your spam folder or call our office if you do not receive an email on the day schedules are released. Each roster may have a total of 20 players at one time. Your original team roster must be submitted prior to your first scheduled game. This is important as failure to do so may result in the very first game being recorded as a forfeit. You can add or delete players as often as you want throughout the season until the freeze date. After this date, no changes can be made to your roster, and all players are now considered frozen. All players on a frozen roster are now eligible for postseason play. This freeze date can be found in the online rulebook. Occasionally, teams do not have enough players to play on a particular night. A forfeit is declared when a team fails to show up to their scheduled game without notifying the sports office. A default is when a team calls the office by 4:30 p.m. on the day of their game to notify us that they are unable to play that night. Both situations result in a loss, but a default can preserve playoff eligibility and can also prevent a team from being removed from a league. This also allows us to notify the opposing team. Alcohol is prohibited by city code and therefore not allowed in our softball parks. Violation of this rule can result in forfeit of the game as well as team suspension from the league. All forms of tobacco, including e-cigarette and vapor use, is prohibited in the playing or spectator areas. There are areas provided for this outside of the playing areas. For safety of all participants, jewelry is prohibited during play. This includes rings, earrings, studs, posts, visible piercings, watches, chains, and medallions. Medical or religious medallions can be taped inside clothing. Flat, smooth wedding bands are exempt. The playing fields with turf infields have special rules that prohibit several items from being used on the playing surface. This is not only for the protection of the fields, but also for the enjoyment of all those who participate. There is an expectation when you participate in our leagues that all teams, players, and spectators behave in an appropriate manner that fosters a family environment. Respect for one another is the key to this policy. Violations of the policy will be dealt with severely, quickly, and not necessarily progressive in nature. Although handled on an individual basis, there are disciplinary guidelines listed in the online rulebook. Please be aware that as a team captain, you are directly responsible for cooperation with the office into any investigation directed by the sports office. If you need to contact the sports office for any reason, we can be reached in a variety of ways. The office phone number is 614-645-3366, and office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Our website is located at columbusrecparks.com. Feel free to reply to any emails sent to you by the program supervisors throughout the season. We also provide updates on our programs via social media. In the case of inclement weather, our website and rain line will be updated daily at 4:30 p.m.